And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Welsh Esports League here, brought to you by Apprenticeship Wales. I am together with Mr. Gizmo, but also our analyst today, Tris Velocity. How are you guys doing today? Welcome in.
Yeah, excited for these games. I mean, this is the decider for the Swans. If they win this, they are going to get that first spot, which is absolutely crazy. You know, massive prize pool, and also, you know, it sort of states the name. You know, the Swans have been doing well in nearly all of the sports, so hopefully this time we might see them. You know, I'm not saying I want them to lose. I'm just saying that I'd like to share the love between all of the orgs. But no, they're doing insanely well. So hopefully today they might take that trophy home with them.
To be fair, it would be more exciting as well, because if the Swans do lose this, if the Ponies win, that means the fight for the third place is going to be very exciting, because the second match coming up is the Dragons versus the Goats. All of those three, the Pit Ponies, the Dragons, and the Goats, are all on 9 points. So it's very, very close for that second place. But Tris Velocity, the Swans and the Pit Ponies, have you probably got some knowledge about them before. I mean, the Swans, they have been absolutely crushing this tournament. We're kind of expecting them to win again, right?
I am, yeah. I'm really looking forward to see how the Governor plays. I have noticed that he's been playing a lot of the Sandra recently, so I'd love to see him pull out that Sandra in this draft pick.
Yeah, we'll see if he's going to do that again. I mean, one thing that the Swans have been doing, at least for as much as we've been able to see them, is lots of meta picks, right? They play this very clean kind of meta game, whereas all the others, they either go like heavy scaling or they go, well, heavy early game. We've not really seen the early game work out too much. It seems that, you know, especially when you have loads of different kind of elos in the team, that scaling tends to be the easier way to go. I don't know if you have any, you know, any ideas about that, Tris Velocity. Like, do you think about, like, in general, like, when you have a tough time playing as a team, that scaling is just the easier option to go for?
I do think scaling is a really good thing if you're just wanting to play safe and just go for that whole, oh, let's just hit the 40-minute mark. But I do think that if you're playing into that Tristan or that early game ADC as a Vayne, it can be really tough to get out of things, especially if they have like an engage that can just go in with a Samira, like a Samira Nautilus against something like a Vayne Yumi or a Vayne Lulu, that safe play just to get in with that scaling. It'll be really interesting to see if we can get, as you said, some early game picks in to counter that scaling.
Yeah, and I think that's going to have to come from the Pit Ponies, right? Because, well, the Swans, I feel like at this point, they can play whatever they want. They have been looking very strong. They have been looking dominant in every single win. Pirates got close. They had the chance with the Legacy pop-off on the Vayne, almost.
It was very close, very close.
It was very close. It was a great match, but, you know, we'll see what's going to happen this time as we do get ourselves into the draft. Looks like the Pit Ponies will be on the blue side, and of course we've got the Swans on the red side. It's always turned around. Like I should just say at this point,
it's hard to know. You know, I should just improve my graphics. Literally, just dull it down for you. My bad. But
it's
no,
always the graphics problem.
Yeah. So like, what I will say is, Swans, you know, when you are the better, like, you know, on paper better team, sometimes it doesn't hurt to go for that scaling like option of just going, hey, like, you guys can play your early game, we'll turn up in late game and we'll out team fight you. And, you know, when you have two players who are ex UK LC, I believe, of in their ADC and the Governor, like, you got that as a fallback. And we saw how divisive the ADC matchups were in the last game, especially against Legacy God, who nearly came back, but they just have that team around them, and that's the problem.
Too much. Well, I gotta say, I want to talk about these bans real quick here, Tris Velocity, because these are not common bans at all. When we talk about like bans that we see in pro play nowadays, these are all targeted bans. Stingy had a great performance on Vel'Koz. The Darius, of course, taken away from Ocean Mango. We have the LeBlanc taken away from Volpine. Governor not going to go on that Camille, which made them beat the Pirates last week as well. So all targeted bans. That means all the OP picks, the Ashe, the Elise, are still open, but a Mumu is going to be the pick.
So
I think that's what the interesting thing with the Nami ban, the first Nami ban, meaning we probably won't see that Lucian ADC, which is something I'd really like to see. I haven't seen Lucian much recently, but I do think he has that early game damage with the Nami, especially with the E interaction, which would be interesting.
Yeah, I'm happy to see the Nami getting taken away, because I feel like it's the better duo of those two, and it opens up more options. The interesting thing, I mean, the Callista's great. I'm just wondering what the Governor's going to play now, because I know he's a Ryze player. Maybe he's a Callista player. He has been known to do a few things. Oh no, it's Callista Tarek.
Oh, the Tarek. Okay. Well, at least we don't get the Yumi. I saw the hover for a second. Yeah, we got Tarek and Callista. Now that's definitely a lane you don't see a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's insanely good because you're able to reposition as the Callista to be able to get that stun on nearly everyone. So it's really useful. And then if the tight presses are, as Calista, you can just ult them back, so then the R's are going to go off no matter what, and also the ADC is always going to get that invincibility for it's 2.5 seconds, 2.5 second charge time. So I feel like unless they're able to burst the Calista, stop that protection, then they have to burst the Taric. It's a very good combo, and I remember like the biggest pop off was with like Core JJ and Tactical when they first started playing together. This was the duo that they were running down every bot lane with, and honestly, I'm happy to see it. Oh,
and look who's back! Look who's back! The dog returns. Hey, I mean, we can't lie. This is what we've seen in the Welsh Esports League. Scaling, scaling, scaling. If you don't know exactly how you're going to play, if you don't have like a specific game plan for a team, just go scaling. We talked about how it was good, Trist.
I'm just expecting like the governor just either play like something just hilarious into this. I'm hoping I'm hoping his jungle side could be top lane. Honestly, I don't know if he play Riven into that. You are playing against
Governor the Ash.
The Prez.
I so badly want to.
Nasus though, like the Riven early damage, like she can cheese level 1 with her.
Yeah.
Nasus just to shut down that early scaler to really put him into a tough spot.
Yeah, I mean that's the point, right? If you want to pick the Riven here into Nasus, that's what you want to do, right? You want to absolutely smack down that Nasus. Nasus will outscale. I mean, like he will with pretty much every lane.
Is it a cheese pick? Is it Nasus support? Into Calista.
Gizmo. With Ashe AD carry, when Ashe support is so broken. Like, okay, you know what? We'll leave it open, but...
Think about it. Think about it. Callista's counter. Okay, Calista and Zeri are countered by Nasus and slows. You've got Ashe and Nasus. I mean, in my books, that's a win. If I get that prediction, you owe me money. Okay.
Whoa, hey, whoa. We did not talk about this. Hey, yo, we gotta calm down. Actually, no, you know what?
I'd bet on it. That Ashe slow and that Nasus slow is going to be nasty in those team fights to count, especially with the Ashe W poke.
I see you there thinking, trying to work out whether or not it's possible. You're wondering, I have a history with Brannigan. Okay, I've played against him quite a bit during our community nights. I know where it goes. It could be a Taric jungle if but then they shouldn't pick like Yuumi. Come on now. But like I can believe. A man believes.
The other bans have already come through, of course. We see mid lane bans coming in here from the Swans. Galio and Victor taken away.
They hurt you with the Lissandra.
Lissandra and Shen are taken away. Yeah, so instead of Riven, it's sadly going to be Fiora, the lesser version of the two, let's be honest here. But no, with all the respect, I mean, Fiora could do the same job as well. A little bit more trouble in that early game, but I think in general, he should be an easy enough lane. So this is going to be a lot on the Governor, a lot of eyes on the Governor to really make sure that this Nasus is going to be denied.
I mean, it's just split push for split push, right? And, Fiora's job is just to do that. The real question is, can Nasus outstack them early to be able to get that point where they can 1v1 them? And honestly, in the hands of the Governor, I just feel like the Fiora's just going to run away with it on that side lane. Now, this is where we reveal our... Why? Come on, where's the Nasus? Come on.
Gizmo's very sad, as you guys can hear. He wanted the Nasus support, but it will be the Lulu with the Ashe. So the speed up and the slow means that, once the Ashe gets going, once she can chase, she is going to be an absolute menace. However, will the Pip ponies get to that point? That is a big question. Now, the mid laner is yet to be picked. Well, they're going to match that scaling from the Nasus, which means this could be a long game because the Kassadin, the level 16 Monka S, has been picked.
Yeah, so you've got a great team fight in there from the Swans all around, basically. You've got the Calista for early game aggression, you got the Maokai for early game ganks, and then you just got the Fiora Casting scale comp for the late game. The only hope I can see for the Pit Ponies is win super hard early, which your Nasus isn't going to do. So I'm just hoping they can play, they can counter this bot lane to be able to get to a situation where they can pop off. Because, yeah, Ashe is just that much, Ashe has to be so important here to be able to counter this other team.
But when you look at these comps, right, you can obviously. I also think I prefer the comps of the Swans here because it is a more like a together comp that is really
cohesive.
Strong in the team fightings. Cohesive. He's got it. He's got the
He's
words
got
out.
He's got it.
He's got it. That's what the Color Caster does, guys. They're like the what's called the vocabs of the cast. What's it called? Like an encyclopedia? Is that how you say it? I'm pretty sure that's how.
In Welsh, it's encyclopedia.
Encyclopedia. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that almost sounds like a different word. But I think what the Pip ponies do have It's a lot of pick potential, right? You have the Ashe ultimate, you have an Ari who can jump over all kinds of walls, you have the Amuma as well. I feel like if there's one way that they can kind of turn fights into their favor, it's maybe by looking for picks, getting that vision set up, so that they can actually, you know, get a charm, get an Ashe arrow, and maybe, you know, make a fight unfair for the side of the Swans.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the Ashe, I'm just hoping like you're paying for those like American Sniper sort of style, you know, just getting those picks from wherever, just throw it out there. But yeah, so like the main thing I'm hoping to see is obviously you got Ari in the mid lane, heavy push lane into a casting. You want to lock them under their tower, push that wave, and then just roam. Just impact lanes, impact every lane you can because it's going to be so important. Because if you can't get these mid lane impacts early, I feel like you're just going to get run away in that late game.
Yeah, so Trisvelos, the question to you, what is going to be the lane that we need to put our eyes on in this game? Like, what do we think this is the lane that's going to have, like...
I think genuinely bot lane. I want to see how the Kalista Taric play early into the Ashe Lulu, because Ashe can play very safe with her range, and then compared to the Kalista who is really good early game damage, I would love to see just how Kalista and Taric manage to get on top of that Ashe Lulu, especially with the Lulu polymorph on the Taric to stop any stuns as he walks up. It'll be really interesting to see how they play out. Will they play safe and just scale to work with the Nasus? You know, will they have to be wary of an Ari roaming down and diving with that Amumu? It's like so many things just to counter to think of.
Yeah, and I think if they're gonna look for dice, they're gonna have to be like pre-6, right? Because I feel like once the Taric is level 6, and well, even the Kalista as well with their ultimate, I feel like it becomes really difficult for the side of the Pip ponies to look for dives over there. So, you know, I mean, Stingy should get level 6 early than that bot lane, so perhaps they can look for some early ganks over there. Or maybe it will be a jungle diff angle, right? Because we have the Maokai versus the Mumu. This is not the most exciting matchup that you'll ever see. These are not going to be looking for, like, fights together, I don't reckon. But when you have a Fiora in the top lane for the side of the Swans, I wouldn't be surprised if Leon wants to actually go for that lane rather than for the bot lane. So there are chances that the Swans are going to leave the bot lane alone, which might give an opportunity for the Pip ponies.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a lot of protection there, right? Like, you have got the Taric who can just spam Q. Like, you know, he's probably just going to go tier second item and just be able to get away with instant healing. And then obviously the kite ability of the Kai'Sa. The question is, are the slows going to be that impactful? But my real question is, do you think the Maokai is going to go tank, teamfight, or poke?
That's the big question. What do we reckon, Trisvelos? What do we reckon? What do we feel?
With the Taric as well, especially, I think with the Fiora and the Castin, they're quite squishy, like, for their all-in. Like, despite Fiora being a bruiser with quite heavy healing, I feel like he probably will go for the tank, just so they have that stable front line to peel for the Kalista and Castin. Because Castin has that hard backline dive with his ult, especially with the resets too, with the low cooldown. So I think he'll go tank to work with the Taric here.
All right, we'll see if that's going to be what will happen as we get ourselves into the game very, very soon. It's going to be exciting to see if we even see maybe a level 1 invade. It's not like either of these teams have a particularly strong invade side. You have the Amumu, of course, it's got a double stun, but honestly don't expect too much. But you know, you could always see a team like the Pip ponies. You know, if there's one place where you're kind of even, like even if you're playing against a team that is considered much stronger than you, if there's one time where you can actually make a difference, it could be that early game, right? Like going for that level 1. It tends to be a flip in many cases, and it's going to be down to all the tiny things. So maybe that could be an angle where the Pip ponies with that Amumu, with an Ari charm perhaps, can look for something. But are we going to expect it?
I don't know. I can't imagine invading into a Taric, you know, especially when that E is so impactful early. But you know what? If they did, you know, all power to them, because I think it's just something to upset it. It's just, you know, if they can get that split map situation, you know, go into the bot side, split it for them, I feel like they can make so much more protection for this bot lane to open up in this aggressive lane.
Yeah, we'll see if that's going to happen. Now, here's the thing. We've got scaling on both sides, Trish, but who do we think is actually, in general, the strongest scaling comp? Because I feel like that is very dependent on how this top lane goes, right? I feel like if Nasus can defeat the Fiora, then it might look pretty good for the Pip ponies. But if the Fiora beats the Nasus and you have a Kassadin on the Swan side, I feel like there's very little chance of them coming back.
I agree with you there. I think the Swans' comp is just, it has the early, it has the late with the Kassadin, it has the team fight potential. And like you said, if the Fiora wins against that Nasus early, it's going to be impossible for the Pip ponies to make a comeback. That Nasus is going to have to play it safe as well against the split pushing, because the Fiora is going to be able to counter anything that he tries to do with scaling, and it will definitely be either a very close game, I feel like, or it will be very one-sided.
Well, thank you so much for that, Tris Velocity, as we now get ourselves into the first game of the night. Now, you might think it is a best of 3, but it will not be. It is a best of 1 between the Swans and the Pit Ponies. Now, if the Swans win this game, ladies and gentlemen, the Swans will win the tournament. Yes, indeed, because the Pirates, they may be able to get on the same amount of points as them. However, since the Pirates have already lost against the Swans will automatically win the tournament. So, this is a big match here for the Swans, but also for the Pit Ponies, because they are looking to secure themselves, potentially even that second place, but the third place is also in sight. So we'll see if any of these teams are going to be able to make their dreams come true, as we do not see an early invade. Both teams kind of starting it off slow right now.
Yeah, and honestly, I wouldn't expect anything else. You know, we did discuss the chance of the invade, but realistically, we just knew that it wouldn't go either way. The only interesting thing I'd say is look at the Malachi. Look at what he's doing. He's solo leashing, so then they're going to think, oh, where is he? And now the Fiora is able to contest the wave. The Callister and stuff are able to pull the wave, which means that chances are the bot side of the Pit Ponies. Sorry, I got them the wrong way around. That really threw me off.
Oh yeah, I just noticed as well.
Don't worry, we got that sorted. They should be able to lose a couple of minions of XP. I should be able to throw the camera down there. And they did lose a couple of the waves, and we'll get up the XP graph now for that. But that could have a massive impact in that lane.
Yeah, and not only that, I feel like just the fact that the side of the Pit Ponies might want to actually play around this bot side makes it so difficult for them to now look for those plays, right? Because look at this. They're going to get level 2 of these 2 minions that are coming through right there. Even in the top lane, Governor is already dominating. I think the wave is going to push into the turret though, so Ocean Mango should be okay. But already we're seeing that dominance here for the Swans.
Yeah, and now he can just go out of vision, either get a cheater recall in, or just set a vision. And now he's got a vision set up for the Amumu. So if the Amumu actually tries to go up there, he'll know that gank's come in, and be able to maybe even like contest it. Maybe even think, oh, we can do a 2v1 situation here with the Fiora. I've seen the clips on Twitter. You know, I've seen that happen before. So I think maybe that's what we'll see. But either way, we're just seeing, Swan's early aggression coming out, just pushing stuff under the towers, everywhere but that mid lane.
Yeah, there's just no real space for the Pit Ponies to play at the moment. So Shimango is trying to trade back a little bit. We do see, of course, Stingy, as expected, is getting a priority over the mid lane. So maybe Stingy is going to be able to do with it, because you talked about it, right? Stingy needs to look for those roams, needs to
and Leon knows it,
get
though.
some impact in the team, but we might get a gank in the top lane here.
We get a gank in the top lane, but look what the Malachi's doing as well. He's invading, and then he's setting up the vision to protect the cast in. So when he is pushed in, they'll know if that roam happens, because that's the path directly into that bot side, which the Ari's going to have to take. So he didn't even have to touch it, and now they're just fighting over the scuttles. So in the meantime, so far, nothing has actually happened on the map, but it feels like we've talked about a lot, right? We know where the waves are bouncing, we know that we're playing around these timings, and look what the Governor did. That early push bounced the waves, so then when the Amumu's up in that top side, it's back in the tower, so he's safe, Yeah,
that's very clever. I always tend to call them the red spots, right? So Nasus currently is in the red spot of the top lane, which means you're perfectly capable to be ganked. And Fiora, of course, Governor started off getting into the red spot, but because Amumu was still clearing, it doesn't really matter anymore. So now the Governor in a perfect spot, and we're going to see that the wave's gonna bounce back now towards Ocean Mango. So if, of course, Jam wants to look for a gank there, he may be able to, but now he is around that bot lane side. And well, there are no walls there, but bot lane isn't there, so it just looks like at the moment the Swans are completely playing around it. But now Ocean Mango could be in a bit of trouble, gets to slow down, so we'll be able to walk away. But so far, Swans, you can already see 500 gold lead, and that's just because they are playing the map so well.
Yeah, and I mean, look, their bot lane was able to get that early reset, be able to buy those items, and now look at their wave. So they've got a stacked wave. They can contest the push, and if the Amumu doesn't go down there, I feel like they can't touch a minion for the next 5 minutes because of how important that's going to be with the aggression of that bot side.
We'll see now, as in the top lane, the push is going to go through. It looks like both the teams are kind of just fine with farming, but we talked about how the scaling for the side of Swans is so much better, right? So if they're going to let that happen, the Governor and Volpine are just going to be able to walk over them. And just look at this thing. Just look at the CS lead in the top lane right now, Gizmo. I mean, that, of course there's a big wave coming, but that is ridiculous.
Yeah, and imagine if the like Malachi ganked that, like, the Governor could fake pressure that dive, but not knowing where the Amumu is, he can't. But either way, he's created such a massive CS advantage just from that whole push me, pull me situation that he set up with the wave. And now he just gets to cash in. Look at how far up he is, and now the Nasus has to reset because of the chippage damage that has happened over time.
Yeah, and now on the bot lane, the same thing, right? We've got double the CS here for Nosplaf just, and the wave is practically frozen here. It's looking quite rough at the moment for the Pit Ponies, and we talked about how the Swans are so good at playing the map, right? Because even against the Pirates, who, you know, they are second place at the moment, they are a very, very strong team, but even they, you know, just got absolutely smashed by the Swans when it came to the map play. So the Swans just looking very, very clean, and they're even going to start off this Drake now, and yeah, it looks like Sir Jam, I mean, he's in base. They're not going to be able to challenge this.
Yeah, Astra will get a little bit of breathing room here with this wave being pushed in to start up this Drake, but they should know that this Drake is getting started because of the fact that they did just break that freeze for it. And it seems like Ash is just walking away from the wave, just letting this lose even more minions. So now we're looking at about a 30 CS lead going on this early, and realistically, they now have the Milk on the bot side, so we could be about to see a 3v3.
Yeah, could happen here. Now, there is not a lot of item difference currently between the two, so even though there's a big CS lead here for Nosplaf, they could potentially look for a fight here, but now in the top lane though, the Governor, messed up though, Oceanmango now flashes behind the Governor, Mighty look for the solo kill. Does he get the slow? It is not on cooldown just yet, needs one more hit, Oceanmango is going for it, he wants it, he gets the first blood, but it will be traded back.
Who? Did the Governor have a shutdown as well, just from CS advantage there? Like, that's crazy. And the worst part about that is I don't even think it favors Oceanmango there. He used all of his suns, and now Governor's just going to TP back up to that wave. And the wave's in the first mistake, but look at the dive coming through.
In the bot lane, that's an instant death for Nosplaf there. Easy kill, and Brannigan is now in trouble as well. And good look at how well they are using the turret aggro. Nosplaf will live. Double kill for the Swans, and this bot lane is falling further and further behind.
Yeah, and luckily for the Swans, the only lane that's losing is this casting lane, and realistically, you know, you're giving up a little bit of early for a great late game. So you are snowballing the outer lanes, which is normally the opposite of what you do, right? You get that mid side ahead, and then snowball super effectively into the other lanes, and this is just not the game plan that Pit Ponies want to be at.
No, it really is not. And we're going to get to the point now where Volpine is going to be able to actually challenge Stingy in these fights as well. Because Stingy, you know, doesn't have the ignite to maybe be the change maker as now Oceanmango. Could be in trouble again, but the Wither is keeping the Governor on his toes at least. But look at this wave. It's just the wave management at the moment from the Swans that is just being such a thorn in the side of the Pit Ponies, because the CS differences are getting worse and worse and worse, and I don't think a 10 CS lead in the mid lane is going to matter, as Oceanmango is now going to be chased. The Governor does have the boss, going to use it. Oceanmango doesn't have the health to work with it right now. Governor just gets an easy kill in the top lane.
No, and the thing is that he doesn't even have to push that wave. He can just keep blasting it, hitting it, and he just loses even more. You know, we're talking over double CS at this point. The Malachi should have a free walk into getting this Herald, and if he gets this Herald and puts it like onto this casting, that advantage, the only advantage they've got, is lost. But Tarek.
Yeah, the ultimate now. Look at the damage from Brannigan. He's just standing still. He knows it's over for him. He's not going to go anywhere. Another kill going over here to Nosplaf, 2-0 right now, and already the shutdown set on him. Yeah, the Swans are looking clean and crisp. I'm getting G2 mad first game vibes here, Gizmo.
Unfortunately, I haven't been watching the LEC. Shame me as much as you like.
It was a stomp, I'll tell you that much.
What I will say is the Swans are looking like a plane here. Their outer sides, the outer wings are carrying them here.
We might see a fight here now. In the bot lane as well, there's going to be a dive, but we're going to look at towards this fight around the Herald here. Leon is taking a lot of damage. Could they get the first kill hit? They can. Stingy gets the kill. Now it's 2v3. That's a good curse of the Sad Mummy. Governor now uses the riposte to get some of the damage gone, but now the flash from Stingy is going to do enough damage for the Governor to die. Shut down once again for the Mango.
Casting cleans.
Can he get a kill? Has to run away. Does have the Rift Walk to get out, but that was a strong fight for the Pit Ponies, but the bot lane is falling apart.
Yeah, they were able to pick up quite a bit, but unfortunately it goes into the Nasus, right? It might be able to recover his lane, but look up in the topside wave. It's still frozen against him, so no matter what, he just caught up a little bit, and then it's extending. It's still extending just because of how the waves are set up before this.
And that is just what the Swans have been doing so well, not only in this game, but just in all the games they have played in this tournament so far. Their wave management and their just understanding of what to do and when to be where is just so incredibly strong. But as we can see, they are beatable. They have those mistakes and they have those fights where in this particular fight, of course, the Pit Ponies did come out on top. And that's exactly what they have to look for, right, Gizmo? They need to look for those picks. They need to look for those fights where they are actually like 3v2, 4v3, so that they can actually use that advantage to, you know, get themselves something on the map, because at the moment they are just bleeding.
Yeah, and you know, the important thing about that whole play is it did interrupt the Swans' Herald timer. So now they're on they're clear for the Malkos on the other side of the map. So he's looking to start Drake, but he's going to be a bit behind. Can the Governor outplay this though? I mean, I'm pretty sure he can. 2 levels up.
I'm pretty sure he can. There's no ultimate on Ocean Mango. Governor now has so much healing. Sir Jam is trying to look for something here, but even the minions are not on his side at the moment. So good stuff there by the Governor. Getting that Jonah towards the top side, and with the Dragon coming up right now, he's actually looking for it. Don't know if he's going to find it though, but
he failed
we've got
the
a Dragon
Hex
coming up soon, so this should be easy right now, right? Oh, did he fail it?
Yeah, he flashed into the wall. I saw it charging, and then I just saw him stay on that chicken side, and I'm like, well, it happens to all of us, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if it's a fail, or if he just was like, well, maybe I shouldn't, right? And just kind of let it go.
No,
anyway.
there's no can't. There's only do. Okay, and you know, sometimes you fail. That's not their fault. But now the Amumu starts straight onto this Herald. The Governor is just slapping the Ocean Mango on the other side. But if he can get the Herald, it could be enough to distract them. But look at what's happening bot side. Look at the movements here. We're gonna see it. We have the Tarek ulti, so they can just start it off whenever.
Oh, the stun is there. Here comes the Tarek ultimate. That is just going to be an easy pickup here because the tower doesn't do any damage. Not even to free iPhone. Easy pickups there by the Swans. 2 kills. And hopefully now with the Herald, at least the Pit Ponies can react on the top side. But Ocean Mango could be in trouble because the Governor is so strong and he's got a massive wave to back him up.
Yeah, who needs an Gnome Wrecker when you can just turn off the damage with a Tarek ulti, eh? Now, the Governor, is this going to turn out in the favour of Sir Jam? I mean, the ulti's up.
Oh no, the Governor almost procced all of them. Can't proc the last one just yet. There is the last proc, so a lot of healing coming through. But can he kill Sir Jam? Sir Jam flashed away. The Governor's going to flash behind him, but he gets the stun on the turret, and he does not get the kill. Ocean Mango gets it, but Astro is in trouble now. Teleport coming in towards the bot lane. Free iPhone is trying to do as much damage as he can, but Astro is already dying. And the ultimate of Kalista will get his support to safety, but he just teleports right into the turret, and Stingy picks up another kill as well.
I mean, it's very well played by the Kalista Tarek duo there to be able to get that. I just love the part where the Tarek just ults directly into the charm, you know. That's, as much as it is a joke, it is the perfect thing, because otherwise the Kalista could have been hit by that. Perfect support player, even though your Kalista has cleanse, let them keep those sums and then use them at a later date. Honestly, this bot lane has been playing out of their mind. I mean, look at the CS difference in it alone. In fact, let's use this time to bring up some fancy graphs, okay? We have them, we might as well use them. Let's get...
Yeah, we got Gizmo's fancy graph out there. Look at that. I mean, honestly, it's ridiculous, right? Like, almost 1,000 gold ahead of the second highest.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, whilst we're here, we can look at the CS per minute, because, I mean, they're keeping on track. You know, they are actually popping off. I mean, in fairness to Stingy, look at him. He's the only one on his team who's above 6 CS a minute, but damn. There's a little bit of a diffy going on.
Yeah, I mean, the Swans just looking extremely strong now. Sir Jam has been completely called out. Doesn't have to flash anymore as Leon is just chasing him. Even a camera is chasing him and he's not going anywhere. 4Pint just sneaks by to pick that one up. 2-0 on the Kassadin. And yeah, the Pit Ponies are just slowly falling apart. Well, they're going to have to find something quickly because the Swans are going to run away with this game otherwise.
I mean, look at the confidence on the Kassadin. He's gone Luden's Electrocute. He knows exactly the game he's playing in.
Well, I think Ocean Mango knows that as well. He is playing the game of death. That is a good ultimate, actually. Leon has to run away, but not Splash. Just has too much damage, especially with that cleanse as well. As now Astro could be in trouble. Vilpine looking for that kill, but it's going to Rift Walk away because Brannigan is here.
But the Governor...
He does it again, though, because now the Governor's here. Brannigan just gets one shot by the solo laners of the Swans, and now they could look for a mid turret as well.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, the team play from the side of the Swans is absolutely what's putting them another level apart from the rest of the competition. Because honestly, you don't see these map rotations in any other game, really, and it's absolutely crazy to be able to see this at this level.
Yeah, it's honestly beautiful to see, in fact, because yes, we've seen them being, you know, getting like losing the team fights, right? We saw against the Pirates how Legacy God was able to just completely carry a team fight with that Vayne against the Swans, and well, we've seen a team fight here, right, around the Herald, where the Pit Ponies managed to actually get the better of the Swans. However,
Oh my
in
God.
general, when it comes to the map plays, it doesn't manage to do something. Oh, what a massive sapling, Gizmo! Come on, that was beautiful.
I just want to say, it's so sad that only one of those triggers. Okay, you stack all three there, you know, just to add that bit of spice, and only one of them goes, "Yep, now we'll follow."
Yeah.
But no, I know what you mean. Like they have been playing it insanely well, and I mean, it does show the experience that they do bring from this and like this UK EL background and LC background. It really does show that UK can develop talent, and they are able to bring those skills into these competitions and spread it to other players.
Yeah, and so it's starting to look like the Swans are going to get the first place in the Welsh Esports League. That would be a very good, you know, first showing for them in this league, and this brand new league, of course. But right now, I mean, we just have to respect. I feel like we have to put our eyes. We talked with Trist about this, right? And the eyes were on the bot lane this game, and well, it shows, right? Because Not Splaff and Free iPhone, they have been absolutely fantastic. There's a 700 gold shutdown on the Kalista right now, and just we talked about the CS difference. I mean, that also means that it translates to an item difference, because look at the Ashe. I mean, it's just sad to look at, really.
You think it's more than just like it's even more than just one item difference. Like, and I feel like pointing out the CS at this point is just becoming like just shaming them. Like, if you are playing against, you know, I believe they're a challenger ADC or like a Grandmaster at least, and it does show. Oh, Stingy.
I don't think it's Stingy is looking for an attacker. I don't think it's necessarily shaming. I think it's just more so, you know, appreciating the fact how good the Swans are at the moment. And
yeah, their map rotations.
Ooh, is standing a bit too far forward, but I think honestly the Swans, they want to push for this tier 2. I mean, why not, right? They can. Might as well do it.
I mean, if you get engaged upon, like what's that? Like, what hard engage you only have to track the Amumu, really, and then after the Amumu comes in, you just press target R, and who's going to stop you then? You know, you've got one form of hard CC. You should be able to walk into. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if I see Kalista just walk into tower and just start autoing it, taking full damage.
Yeah, well, we might actually see that happening very soon as Kalista. I mean, I don't know how much gold she has on hand right now, but she's been farming for quite a long time on these two items.
Oh,
so
we can
do it. I can let some fancy Gizmo do the work here, of course, as there we see it, 1400 gold, so that's another, you know, I don't know what item he's going to be going for, but there is a lot of options with that as well. So, yeah, it's just slowly but surely, they're kind of just milking the money at the moment from the Pit Ponies, and the Pit Ponies are looking at the wallets, and it's just empty at the moment.
Yeah, and I mean, in the meantime, Leon's just picking up objectives wherever he goes. Yes, the other team were able to get those Herald, but to be honest, you know, he's had bot control the whole game now. Yes, he didn't have mid control early, but does it matter? And the governor just walks in and hits the towers every time his demolish is off proc.
Yeah, and he can just tank like a few hits as well. And here we go, the top lane fight though. Volpine against Ocean Mango. Now Ocean Mango should be stronger here. Can Volpine run away though? That's the question. Use the flash. Can he get away? Another rip-off on the flash. It's a shutdown, and Ocean Mango really is the shining star of the Pit Ponies right here. And if anyone needs to do it this game, it is going to have to be him.
Yeah, and you know what's most important? He was able to get that emote off during that fight. Those are hard skills to do, okay? Emotes are very important in this game. You know, if you can press that crying emote during any team fight, you instantly win it in my books.
It's just unfortunate that they don't have the Swain side look emote, right? Because that is your favorite emote to use in these situations.
Yeah.
Or the Blitzcrank question mark, actually. I think that might be your favorite, actually, now I think about it. What is your favorite emote, Gizmo?
I'm not sure, honestly. Yeah, it was that crying one, but it's changed over the years.
Well, speaking of crying, I think Ocean Mango's crying right now because that's a dominating Not Splaff right there. 6-0, chilling, Bing chilling right now. As,
oh no!
Well, there's, I'm sorry, I don't even know where that came from. I never used that. It just appeared. I don't know. It just appeared. But a lot of money in the bank here for the Kalista. Now the Governor may be looking for a play here on Stingy, but I think Stingy's just kind of trying to match Governor, and yes, he'll be able to do that for now, but the Governor is going to get stronger and stronger as time goes on. So the
Yeah.
Herald now also been taken by the Swans, and it's just, I mean, at this point, we might see a dancing Herald by how fast this game is going.
Well, what I think they're just doing now is they're resetting for tempo. They're going to come back out and start the Baron, right? They know that the vision's cleared. They can just go back up there, start the Baron, and now they've got their items from reset, so they should be able to just go for the end straight after, maximizing their Baron usage.
Yeah, and how difficult is it as well, right, for Sir Jam that if he wants to Smite Stealer, you still got that Kalista to deal with as well. So it's just so hard right now for the Pit Bunny to look for any ways to come back. And just look at the items of Notspath. Literally just bought an instant Runans, like just instantly. Not even any components needed first. So beautiful stuff there for the side of the Swans as they looked for a pick here on Volpine, but I think Stingy might be the one in trouble because here comes the twisted advance. Leon with a double stun, beautiful engage. Surgem is trying to keep them at bay, but the Governor now has to flash away. They could have looked for a kill of Ocean Mango now. It's a 1v5, and you may be strong, but the dog will not be strong enough. Free iPhone will be taking that kill as Volpine is just chasing them away. And they might not look for the Baron, they might look for the end.
I mean, they have the Herald, why not go for it? You know, you're Snowball and you still have Toracult. What ulti did you use there? Only Malachi? Might as well go for the end. You've got the Taric ulti. Does Taric ulti work on Herald? We'll find out now. This could be the final here. This is the Swans taking the trophy in style.
This is the Swans taking the trophy in style indeed. Are we going to get a dancing Herald to really showcase the strength of the Swans in this tournament? The Herald is almost dead.
Protect it. Protect
So is the base of the Pit Ponies. They're looking for a big fight. Notspath is doing so much damage, but we get the dancing Herald. The Swans are the champions of the Welsh Esports League.
And what a game it was. I mean, it was a masterclass from the Swans to be able just to have those outside lanes be able to pop off, even though they picked that a weaker mid side. So they just had winning lanes and just were able to maximize, and good timing of the Maokai roams to be able to dive, really, be able to set them off and just non-stop punish this bot side.
Yeah, honestly, so well done. And we talked about it, right, Twist Velocity. We talked about how the bot side was so important. And my God, Notspath and Free iPhone were incredible.
Unstoppable. Literally unstoppable. Like, as soon as I saw that Kalista back on an entire item, I knew it. And you said there with the Baron pressure as well. Like, even if a Mumu could steal that Kalista's just going to melt the Baron. They're going to do it before he can even walk up. And even if he does walk up to contest, there's that Maokai ulti. There's the Fiora. There's the entire team there just to stop it.
And we talked about how strong the team comp was from the Swans. Well, they have won the championship. Congratulations, of course, to the Swans. Because, yes, the Pirates can still get on even points with them. However, because the Pirates have lost against the Swans before, that means because the Swans beat them, the Swans will be taking that first place spot. So, well done to the Swans winning the tournament here. But it is not over yet. We still have the third and the second place to fight for, and one big match coming up after this. But we're going to go to a quick break before that. So see you guys in a bit.
Learn new skills or learn employable skills. Do both and achieve more. Become an apprentice. A genius decision. Eisiau dysgu sgiliau newydd? Neu ddysgu sgiliau cyflogadwy? Gwna'r ddau a chyflawni mwy. Bydd yn brentis. Dewis doeth.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the EsportsWales channel with the Welsh Esports League, of course brought to you by Apprenticeship Wales. A lot of Wales going on here, but we got the next match between the Dragons and the Goats after the massacre from the Swans. They have now secured the championship of the first Welsh Esports League. And now, this match could potentially be for second place, but both these teams are on 9 points. What are we expecting to see here? Because these both need to win this game.
Well, we know why the Swans won, right? It's because in the UK it's illegal to kill swans. So they're protected by the Queen. So
What about goats? Are they allowed to be killed?
they're led to slaughter. So we'll see how this one goes. You know, dragons are national. You know, some say they're mythic. Well, we got them today. You know, so we'll see how it goes. You know, but I feel like we're getting there. You know, I feel like we're in the mood for these games. You know, I feel like the Goats. You know, they've been popping off in other games. Maybe we'll see them. You know, pop off today. We'll find out now.
Yeah, like what are we expecting to see? Because we have not seen the Dragons play yet on stream, of course, at least. We've seen the Ghosts twice. First they actually lost, and the second one they did win. And I think the player to watch is definitely going to be the top laner here, because we had the Jace pick last time, who absolutely he popped off on. What are we expecting now? We're gonna see like top lane bans coming in here from the Dragons. Are they gonna focus on that bot lane? Because we saw the Kai'Sa quadra kill as well last week.
Yeah, I mean, I just fully expect us to see, like, you know, I feel like in these tournaments we just get, you know, it's more targeted bans than meta bans. We did see the Nami last game, but I feel like we're just going to see more like targeted bans. And also, Love Eternal was popping off. You know, I believe they were the first person to bring in that Nasus at some point, or at least I think they played it. Either way, you know, we've got, you know, you got them versus Clarky. I feel like we're going to see a Nasus again if it's not banned, and I feel like that therefore they're just going to throw out some more bans towards it. Obviously, bot side in the current meta state, quite important. And we did see how important it was in the last game, where they were able just to snowball completely, shut off the other side's bot lane entirely, and snowball out of control.
And that's funny because the Ghosts have mainly been playing actually around that top side in the last few games, or the top and the mid lane, of course. And it begs the question, Tris Velocity, because is it better? What do you reckon? Like when you are, you know, you have a team full of like different kind of elos. Do you reckon it's better to just, you know, go for what is meta and just play the meta and make sure that you got that covered, or is it just like go comfort, make sure that just play what you're good at and see how the game runs out?
I don't think they could do either, but I also think that it's always that special quote of, you know, play for your highest ranking player. Have your win con.
Yeah.
You know, you see people, they either go scaling or they go for comfort picks, but what about having that one team, that one game where you just play for that one person just to see the utter 1v9? Especially with that Kai'Sa quadra kill. That was nearly a pentakill. Could they just play around the 1 ADC, especially as Gizmo said with the bot lane meta currently?
I always say play around the support. You know, I just feel like the supports...
You're a support player, of course you do.
Supports don't get enough love, and, you know, I feel like you just always have to play around me. My general path is top, it's just FF, you know, but that's just me. So, you know, I'm hoping to see some interesting action here, you know, and I'm wondering, do you know what the best champion is to snowball in this game?
What are you going to say? Like Thresh? Swain?
Nunu, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what can I say?
But how is this man getting paid? Like, it's ridiculous. But no, but with all due respect, Gizmo, we're probably not going to see a Nunu here. I don't expect, at least, a Nunu. I would love to see a Riven. I know Tris would love to see a Katarina. But I do fear the worst. I think we're going to have to stick with what these players are good at probably, because let's be honest, there's a lot on the line in this game. This is not a game where you want to be fooling around.
No, but I will say I would love to see a Nunu. But we are just about to get into draft here. So just if you just bear with me a second, we should be able to see it in a second.
I'm bearing with you, my friend.
Is it going to work? Oh, look at that. Look at that. It's clean graphics.
And there's the effects. The animation's beautiful.
It's beautiful, and I gotta respect it. That is well done by old Gizmo over here. I say old, but I am the old one here. But we got some bans coming in already. We got the Draven and the Evelyn being taken away. And surprisingly enough, of course, the whole remake has happened. We haven't really been able to talk about the Aurelion Sol too much because we just haven't seen him banned nor picked. Loads of people think he's very, very strong. Obviously his early game is very, very weak. But we're not going to have to talk about him too much today because, well, he's banned. He's not going to be picked. But interesting ban here, though, from the side of the Dragons to take that away from the Goats because they haven't played it yet.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's a power spike for them. Dragon playing on the Dragons team, they have to get rid of it. And I can't
Shouldn't they pick it
expect
then?
anything
Isn't that
worse.
the whole point?
No, because then you're playing a dragon versus dragons, and dragons don't kill other
No,
dragons.
as the Dragons, you pick it, right?
Yeah. Which team?
Yeah, the Dragons banned it.
We move on. We move on. Okay, it was a great point. NASA's gone. That's important. That's very important. That's the one that's been impacting stuff. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we're seeing a lot of just, targeted bans here. You know, just attacking individual players. And at the end of the day, what are we expecting to see, like, jungle-wise here? Are we going to see, like, a priority on it? We're going to see it fall back to maybe 3-4, and then go for that counter pick, get that tempo going.
Well, we've seen Ninja Yoshi play the J4 and the Vi. There is definitely some meta picks that are currently very, very strong. As now the Zac has been taken away, so we'll see if the jungler is going to be one of those early picks. And yes, it has been very much targeted bans, but I think Drave and Wukong can be considered meta bans as well because they are obviously very strong in the current meta and very prominent as well in pro play all around the world at the moment. But specifically, of course, we've talked about G2. But well, the Jarvan is not going to go towards the side of Ninja Yoshi this time because the Dragons are going to pick him up first.
Interesting thing about J4. What lane does a J4 go in nowadays? I mean, you've got jungle, you've got support, and you've got top lane.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I mean, we've only seen him support once, which once again is G2, with Mickey X, of course, playing that Jarvan. But it is actually considerably a good thing to do. As now the Trundle, I imagine that is going to be picked, of course, imagining that the Jarvan is going to be jungle, but now the Rakan is being hovered, could be locked in as well. So yeah, will we maybe see a Xayah going to be paired up with that, and maybe a bot lane being picked here from the Dragons next?
I am expecting the Xayah to go with that. I do like the pick of the Rakan first because at the end of the day, Rakan without Xayah is stronger than Xayah without Rakan at the moment. Though Xayah has been on the up and up, but I feel like that's a better pick. However, into a J4, I feel like Rakan can get sort of interrupted quite easily. And I'd much rather see the Thresh come through or the Janna, and Janna's getting countered, so Janna to Rakan, I mean, that's a dreadful matchup for the Rakan if the Janna knows how to play it, if the Janna has hands.
I think we should expect that if you pick the Janna, that you probably know how to play the Janna. As now it looks like they're gonna just pick up that weak side top lane, which already tells us that Jarvan is definitely not going there. The sign being picked up here. So this could be an opportunity here for the side of the Ghosts to look for their own top laner. And I'm just going to say Riven is pretty good into that lane. But, you know, we'll see what they are going to decide to pick into the top lane here for the side of the Goats.
Yeah. I agree. Janna top is very bad into Riven. Janna top with Smite, crazy bad into that matchup.
You know from experience, Gizmo.
Yeah, I do. It's honestly, it's horrendous. But damn, it gets you climbing up that elo really fast.
I do have to admit though, like you saying with the Xayah pick, Xayah's really good at anti-engage, which the Sion ulti, the Jarvan, the peel for the Xayah, she has it on herself, she has it from the Rakan. It would be interesting. I do think that the Xayah pick would be really good, especially with the Rakan.
And that's why it surprises me that actually they went for the Gragas here. I guess they're afraid that maybe the top lane bans would come out here, but this would be a prime opportunity, of course, to actually get that Xayah pick in right now, because this now allows Gragas to ban it out. Oh, they banned it themselves? Yeah,
they banned it themselves. So obviously, that's a little bit confusing to me.
Maybe being taken away, but that is interesting.
I'm going to assume it's due to the lack of champ pool on it. Because I feel like J4 gets really hardly countered by it. You just press R and he can't one R you, or two, he just gets rooted up. Or they've got something cooking. And you know, currently, cooking is very important in the league space. So I'm wondering what they're going to throw in there. Because, you know, you do have the Trundle that can go top and jungle. I think, you know, I'm not going to expect a Rakan mid. But I'm just saying, like, Rakan can go really well with a lot of other ADCs.
Are you a good cook, Trish Velocity?
I was a cook for 2 years, actually. So
like a proper cook?
Kids' parties type of thing, like entertainment-wise.
Oh,
but
right.
I did cook for 2 years.
Okay, fair enough. Well, what do we reckon the AD carry pick is going to be cooking here? Because that is a cooking pick.
Oh, that is a Samira.
Oh.
Samira, all knockups as well.
Janna as well. Yeah, this is a scary. I would say this is a very scary pick into the Dragons, actually.
Now,
if this works out, that'd be great.
With
mean-
the knockup though, will we see a Yasuo?
No
Will we see a Yasuo with the knockups? There's a Rakan. That's all I'm saying.
They
Are you
could
all
do
in?
match all the knockups, but then I feel like they'd be a bit weak on the AP damage. Seeing the Jinx get locked in, I know that Toki's very happy about that. Obviously, you
Powder,
know.
baby. Let's go.
Of
Of course, as the best powder in the US, that's definitely not self-proclaimed. I'd love to see a powder being picked.
But like my real question is now, you have the hyper carry against you. Can the Smear run over this game? It is a very skill check heavy bot lane, and I'm wondering if they can get away with the snowball and Lissandra getting picked into Samira. That's gonna really stop her from being able to get freedom in these fights and just be able to pop off.
Yeah, I think a lot is gonna come down to this bot lane 2v2 specifically, because Janna is capable of completely ruining the day of Rakan and of course Samira. But if that doesn't happen, Rakan and Samira will be able to walk over Jinx and Janna. So it's kind of like, you know, basically it is, as you said, it's the skill check, and we'll see if we're going to see a lot of that, because for the late game team fights, it's going to be very difficult to play for Goma Boy. So all the respect to him if he manages to pull that off, as the Syndra is going to be the last pick here up against the Lissandra, probably looking to actually try and dominate that lane. And well, they're going to need it, because when the enemy has a Jinx and a Lissandra and so much lockup for their AD carry, they're going to have to do something in the laning phase.
Well, I think we've just got a very interesting thing that's happened. I was just about to mention it just before they switched, but Trundle top. I was thinking about it. I'm like, Sion, he's a tanky boy.
Perfect.
You know, this will force him to have to either go the AD build or just be safer, because Trundle R just completely shreds through Sion. So, like, unless you go in the AD one shot a blow up sort of style, Trundle's just going to become tanky in every fight, and then also just be able to steal your R, like be able to steal all your resistances in a fight, which then makes him an incredible frontline for his team. So we're going to have to see some impact here in this top side. I'm hoping a change of runes is in order.
So what do we then expect here for the side of the Ghost? Like, what do you want Ninja Yoshi with the Gragas then to play around, right? Like, you can play around this bot lane and try to look for ganks, but it could be difficult against that Janna in the early game. Do you want to look for mid lane, as you have easy setup with the Syndra, or do you just want to actually push for that top lane? Like, where do you want to play?
Lobby dodged, so we might actually just be looking at a completely different draft, or we're an issue. So we'll see what happens, but at the moment, by the looks of it, it's going to be the same draft, but I can't tell you anything different. Maybe the Trundle's not in the top. Maybe it's in the jungle. Maybe they just couldn't swap. Maybe there was a few bugs in the client. Has been known to happen with Riot, a small indie company, a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, they only exist for how many years? Like 14?
Yeah, So we'll see what happens there, but you know, maybe we might throw it for a little bit of a break here whilst we're waiting, just to see what's going on, and maybe we can figure this out and get back into it.
See you guys in a bit. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Welsh Esports League. We've just patched. League decided, all right, you know what? We need to patch real quick. We can't let this game happen. This game is too important. Let's get this patch through, and then we can play the game. So apologies for the long intermission, but we're back, and the draft has been started. We're going to get the same exact draft like we saw last time, so we can talk about that a little bit more. But welcome back, Tris, Velocity, of course, and Gizmo. Are you guys patched up and ready as well for this game?
Oh, patched up and ready. The real question is, does everything work now? Because that would be the interesting one. To see if all my software now works for this, because patching just ruins it. And I love getting a mini patch halfway through doing a tournament.
Yeah, that's great. Do we actually know what the changes are? Do we know anything about this, or like what is this, like this massive like Jinx buff suddenly just before they pick Jinx? It's just like, wow, okay, they just get that for free.
With it being a micro change, I'm not going to assume that it's going to be anything like that. I think it's just going to be like just a bug fixing. Normally they do those when it's like an absolutely crazy bug. That tends to be the normal. And that's probably what's just happened, right? Because today so far the servers have had issues with people disconnecting randomly, and apparently that happened today as well. And that's what started this whole before we started patching, was just because it didn't work. Oh my god, look at that. It still worked. Thank god.
Oh, saved so well. At least now that means we can talk a little bit more about the compositions that we have in front of us, because we talked about how difficult this game will be to be played by the Samira. And this also means that we know now, okay, that Xayah ban was actually planned. It wasn't a ban that, was wrongly done, they're meant to pick it or whatever. So it will be the Samira into their comp. That sounds like a hell of a job.
Yeah, it's definitely hard for them to play this. The Samira, I love the champion. I think it plays really well. My draft is finished and it's still locked. Brilliant. Sometimes that just happens. What can I say?
Yeah, it's okay. Well, we know. So for the people who don't know it yet, never mind. We just got them on the screen, so that'll do. So yes, we got a lot of Goma boy fans in the chat, I'm pretty sure, and to see him on that summit, that's going to be very exciting to see. But yeah, we talked about how difficult that will be, but I think the one upside is we talked about how Jinx Janna lane, how skill dependent it is against that Samara and the Rakan, and if that Janna doesn't play this lane well enough, there's a very good opportunity for Goma boy and Keisha to just completely take over.
Yeah, I mean that's the upside to this draft, right? You are playing through that bot. You can just play super hard through that bot side. Maybe they get advantage by themselves, but if they can play super hard to that bot side, I feel like we can get away with so much, right? We know how important bot side is, especially in this sort of elo where one mistake can basically mean the game. And so far, I mean, they're playing pretty well. They're able to get away with a lot more extra stuff, and I feel like this is the perfect time to show it.
So, is this Samira going to be the main carry here, or are we looking mainly towards this Trundle here, Twist Velocity? Because
I mean, in the team fights, definitely Trundle will have a really big job. The Scion R, the synergy with that, taking his armor will be huge, and Samira trying to break through that Scion as well. So stealing his armor will be really huge for her. But I mean, I expect a lot from Goma Boy. We saw the quadra kill on the Kai'Sa. There are a lot of fanboys for him, a lot of expectations, a lot of pressure. But it'll be a really exciting game to see how they play it, especially with the skill matchup of bot lane.
yeah, and I think that is the big exciting part. Is like when you look at the composition here of the Dragons, it's so difficult to play that Samira into that. So that makes it all the more exciting if it would work. But will it work? That is the question. Now, let's talk a little bit more about the Dragons team comp here, because I feel like they set themselves up quite well. It feels like a very big wombo combo heavy engage, and then you've got the Janna to peel for the Jinx. It feels pretty straightforward and pretty easy to execute, really.
Yeah, definitely, especially with the Yana ulti. Not the Yana ulti, the Yana ulti for safety of the disengage for the Jinx. The Jinx will have amazing peel from the Sandra ulti, the Jarvan ulti for the lockup, the Sion ulti for that engage. It will be a very, like as you said, a wombo combo.
Yeah, and we'll see if the Powder can walk through it like she was able to in Arcane. Yeah, I just see Gizmo. I love it because see, I like to call the Powder, and Gizmo loves that as well, as you can see. But well, we got the summoners on the screen right now, and one interesting thing actually, I think, is that we got Jinx up here with that heal. Now, I do think it's a pretty
there we
decent
go.
pick, of course. And yes, we've got it fixed now. We get to see all the runes and everything.
I mean,
Here,
the animation's broken, but you get the rest of it, you know? Like, we get to
that was
go...
cool, you know. It's still quality, let's be honest. It's still good.
Yeah, I mean, we get to have a look at these before, ahead of time, you know. Realistically, the game's been played, but, you know, we get to see this before, and it does give us a lot of information.
Interesting pick here by the Jinx, actually. I don't think I would have gone for it myself, but went for the cookies angle here, inspiration. I think that's really good when you are going to get poked out a lot in the lane, but when you play against Samida Rakan, of course, it's probably like either fight or you just completely don't fight, right? And in that sense, I would have probably gone either for domination, or even if you want to play it safe, you can go for resolve here. But we'll see if the cookies are going to work out, because what it does mean is that you can use your mana more aggressively, right? You can poke more in that lane, so if the Rakan doesn't have that engage option, you can poke them out very much together with the Janna.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for just going for, you know, just you know, going into Soul's 3 second, you know, just gathering Storm.
I knew you would like that.
Yeah, you can go, like, I feel like even going Celerity in this game, I'd forgive. I think Magical Footwear is super OP. It's been like that for a while, but honestly, it's getting hit with quite a few nerfs recently, and I feel like you can go into that, like, futures market moment where you can just, it offers you that bit of freedom to come back on an item that you'll just instantly be stronger in lane, and then use that pressure to prio above. So we're getting just about into game in a second.
Yeah, and just before we get into the game, the Dragons, because we look at that comp obviously, and we have talked a lot about the GOATS composition here and the win cons, but the Dragons, it seems to rely a lot on that Jinx, right? Because, you know, Lissandra isn't the hyper carry mid lane that you usually have. This is all very much set up for that Jinx, let that Jinx carry. So I feel like the GOATS, if they can win that bot lane, if they can deny the Jinx from getting those items quickly, this could be a quick one here for the Dragons to lose. So we'll see if they're going to be able to actually, you know, face that.
And I just spoke about before, we've seen a lot in these games that it's either very team comp sided or stuff like that. And we said we have the Jinx. The Jinx is the carry. The Jinx is the person we play for. We have one game where we see that hyper carry, and it is the ADC.
Yeah, and Jinx is basically the comp here. It's not comp on the Jinx though. So we'll see how Lakowi is going to be able to pilot that Jinx as the game is going to start right now. We get ourselves into the last game of the night. Of course, the Dragons on the blue side versus the GOATS on the red side. Both teams currently looking for a 5-pointer, just playing it safe at the start, not wanting to make any crucial mistakes, because this game, basically 3rd place on the line, and potentially even 2nd place, depending on what the Pirates will do last week.
Yeah, and I mean, normally we do see a lot of people just going for this normal 5 points, and I feel like it gets sometimes overused, and for like the reasoning behind it. And honestly, it's just there to protect the camp, stop that vision from being able to get put through. And you can see Lissandra has been able to get a little bit of a ward there on the chickens, but it won't be able to spot if the Gregus is on those chickens, which means that realistically it's just there to stop the cheese ganks, not able to track jungler. And if you track jungler early, you can see how much CS they have, and that then tells you which jungle camps they've cleared, and basically what their XP level is going to be before you fight, most likely at Skull.
Yeah, most importantly, the top lane right now, Loverturn's already showing why this pick is so strong into that Sion, and well, Clarky already having a bit of trouble over there. But I think one important thing as well is that the side of the Dragon's bot lane, they actually, this could be an engage now. Gummer Boy doesn't have the early damage yet though, but they actually managed to go to lane immediately because Gummer Boy and Kisha, they looked for a pull to the top side. So they actually got themselves that early push in towards this bot lane. Not the CS lead, they missed quite a bit doing that, but the push is theirs at least. So not a lot of pressure for the side of Gummer Boy and Kisha just yet, but I'm sure they'll get it very soon.
But we did see how those trades are going to happen, right? If the Janna does start off by using the Tornado to try and force the engage herself, it means that the Rakan can skill check into the Jinx and enforce the ability to trade. And unfortunately, the Samira and Rakan will just win that every time, so you have to be restrained with these tornadoes and be able to hold back. But Eternity really just showing why Trundle is just such a problem. I feel like it's one of those champions where very few people play it in the top side, but the people who do know how to use it so well, and it did get buffed a few times recently, I believe, and that Q being able to reduce damage, absolutely crazy.
It is absolutely crazy indeed. I mean, we can see it in the farm difference at the moment. There is a wave coming though towards the side of Clarky Joss, so maybe he can be able to catch a bit of that. But it's only, it's about like 6 minions, so it's still not really going to get him back up there. As now Love Eternity is really just bullying him. Flash force even in the top lane. Clarky Josh gonna need some jungler help, but if there's any jungler that's gonna be there soon, it's gonna be Ninja Yoshi instead.
Oh, well. The thing that we talked about last game was definitely about the jungle pressure, right, and how it impacts the lanes. And as you can see here, we're strong siding top, which meant that the Gragas was able to be there to help Trundle do this play, be this aggressive. On the bot side, the Samira and Rakan, they know they don't have jungle attention, so they're playing further back because they're a volatile lane. Now,
yeah, it's very...
does that mean that Gragas isn't going to come down there? No, he's botting down there now, and this is where the J4 will have to go topside, and the waves then in the previous game, what happened is the Governor let his wave push into the tower, and then he was safe from the next play from the jungle.
Yeah, so just smart play, right? Better goes. They understand where the jungler is, understand the importance of where their jungler is, and now, of course, that Ninja Yoshi is here. The wave is, as we talked about it before, in that red zone. This could be an opportunity here for Ninja Yoshi to look for that potential gank. They could even wait for Kingdom to use that tornado, because you can see Kingdom has been using those tornadoes kind of on cooldown just to drop out that poke here on Gummaboy and Keisha. Not doing the damage that you may have wanted, of course, since you got that Glacial, but at least they get the push. But it looks like Ninja Yoshi's just looking for, getting another, set of jungle camps done. Now looking towards that top side, so not playing for the Dragon just yet, which means Baruka is going to be there first. Potentially the side of the Dragons can look for that very soon.
Yeah, I wonder if they are going to just try and rush it down. I don't think, they do have the bot side pressure, and it would be a great reward for the amount of work they've put in. And it would punish the fact that they are playing safer on this bot side without this jungle presence. Now, the real question is, does mid-prior really matter at the moment? Because in the last game, we saw that you can play around without mid-pressure. And at the moment, we're seeing J4 path up just as the ward expires.
Yeah, Burrow now is going to get rooted up, stunned up, that's going to get knocked up, and everything up. Flash to get away. Will it be enough, though? There could be a flash follow, and the first blood goes over to Jai.
That was so close to being so unfortunate with the CC misled, but nevertheless, they were able to pick up that kill, trading flashes, and they can both just reset TP back.
Love Eternity, he's hungry, and he's one more bite, gets the bite, and that's a solo bolo in the top lane.
That's a big cake to take down, take a bite of, but look at the CS, and he's already got the Sheen, and that's what's able to give him so much more damage. I don't think he should reset on this wave the way it is, but either way, he has got that Sheen, which is a massive power spike for Trundle, because also he's using this Q off cooldown, basically. Instantly gets that double damage, and it reduces the damage of the Scion, because for some reason they made it reduce AD. Who knows why? It's just hilarious.
It is just hilarious, and look at what he bought as well. He bought that call. He's so confident, he's like, oh, this lane is going to be absolutely free. Might as well get the call to make sure that I'm going to be even stronger and will be able to become that carry for my team. So we'll see what Love Eternity is going to be able to do with that. It's got a decent CS lead in towards this top side already, but we do have the Bramble Fest completed for Clarky, so at least that'll help him a little bit in towards this top side to at least survive. But Love Eternity with that kill is definitely going to be a menace.
Do you think the cull was just teasing? Because I know the Baus, the massive Scion player that we all know and love, is a big advocate for going cull, and I feel like it's the perfect way to stop it, but trying to ulti down.
Yeah, Clark and Josh might have to use his own to get away here, but I don't even have the time to do so. That is going to actually use it to go back into Love Eternity, and that will be just enough to save him at the moment.
J4's buffing up.
He's his way up towards the top lane, so could be a gank, could be a bait here for the side of Clark and Josh if they want to look for it. And Love Eternity is not getting baited just yet because the wave is just too big.
And that's what we've been talking about all day. Wave states and their importance, right? Yes, he took a risky trade, but he's able to fall back into safety of the wave. And now you've got Gragas on the bot side who can maybe make a play because yours is overextended.
Ooh, Keisha with an engage. Oh, we're not going to find too much there, of course. But Kingdom, honestly, you got to say, he has been hitting those tornadoes on cooldown here. It's now in the top lane. This is a kill because Clarky just can't go anywhere. That's another solo bowler as a flash has been forced in towards this bot side because Ninja Yoshi has showed himself up already. But Love Eternity is really, really eating up that cake.
Yeah, and I mean, this bot side, this skill matchup that is this Rakan being able to skill check consistently, at the moment is winning it.
Oh, Beautiful knock up here by Keisha, and that's going to be into the knock up from Ninja Yoshi. Beautiful play here by the Goats. Kingdom will survive as Jai is now trying to do something, but doesn't have the damage. This is Alessandra, not going to have the damage yet to one-shot anyone over there. So beautifully done there by the Goats, and they now cement themselves a very strong lead.
Yeah, and I understand the TP there, trying to make something happen when your team's being collapsed upon like that, but the combo was just too clean from the side of the Goats. And now you've lost mid-wave prio as well, with Drake up, as well as bot side prio, because Lysandra couldn't walk up to that wave bot side after what just happened alone. So now, all of a sudden, they get Drake, they get 2 waves bot side and mid side because of that play, as well as the kills.
Beautiful stuff here by the Ghosts. And now, when they have the lead in towards the bot lane, and is towards the top lane, although what we see is Dragon still coming in, not going to go for it. And now Clark might just actually be in trouble here, honestly. I'm not going to lie. Love it.
Ulti's just come back up.
Not going to go for it just yet, as well. You know, you never know with the Toronto. He can just go for it. He can just ghost and run Clarky Joss down, but probably knows that he has the flash, has the ultimate soon up as well, so will likely be able to get away. But I mean, I don't think he has to go for it at the moment, right? Love Eternity, as long as he just gets himself his own farm and makes sure that he's going to be strong, then he should be fine in towards his top lane.
Yeah, and you know, though the Sun does have ulti, you know, Pillar just loves to stop those straight in its tracks, right? I think the problem is that Love Eternity has to wait for that ulti and his W to be able to catch him up. So now that he's got that, I feel like any minute it could just happen in an instant. But now with J Full on bot side, this could just give him the go-ahead to just go straight in.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit too close to the turret at the moment, so Clarky Josh is going to be able to walk away from that one just now. But Love Eternity, he definitely wants it. You can see that he's just lurking for a moment. But Clarky Josh actually getting some pretty decent trades back this time around. That's the thing with the sign, right? If you get those short trades, you're actually in a pretty good spot. But the long trades, that is where Trundle completely excels. And well, now Barrow Mustard could be in trouble, does have to flash up, but the flag and drag just goes wide, and Baruka doesn't even get a chance to force that flag down the top lane. That's going to be a charm. That's going to be a lot of damage. Goma Boy, so much damage, so much destruction here in the bot lane as Goma Boy gets himself a kill on the Jinx. That's in the top lane. Ninja Yoshi going to clear out that ward. Might look for a potential dive. I mean, there is a possibility, but now Baruka, though, in the bot lane to try and salvage that situation. There's the Cataclysm. 2 people. Keisha is very low, will fall. Surely, Kingdom will take that kill.
That's a
but now Goma Boy has the ultimate, gets knocked up. Can he do something here? Because the Lysandra is here, but in the top lane we get the dive. Beautifully played by Clark and Josh. Well, but he's stuck. He's stuck between the turret and the wall. As now in the bot lane, Goma Boy will be shut down by Jai. Barrow Mustard is here. Can he turn it around? There is the ultimate, and the Q will not be enough to get the kill. Jai gets away safely, but what a bloodbath in this game.
Just slightly staggered there, just to be able to let them get out without that final orb getting put down. But on the bro side, that's massive for the Goats. Even though they did lose a couple kills, one of the kills went over to the Janna, and then also the Gragas is just able to get this Herald in the top side because of them diving top side. So now this Trundle lead, the split push against the Scion is going to be popping off, being able to pressure non-stop. And honestly, I'd love to see them give him the Herald as well, which by looks of it is what's going to happen here. And then he's able to pressure so much more if he's left alone.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant. And I think the best part is the fact that he doesn't have any plates yet, so the Herald will not actually kill that turret, which is not what Love Eternity wants. He wants to be able to deny Clarky Josh is now. Oh boy, Clarky Josh might be biting off a little bit more than he can chew because he's getting bitten to death right now. Love Eternity doing so much damage. Where is the J4? That's going to be a knock-up onto Love Eternity. But he might just have enough damage to kill Clarky Josh. Will he have enough damage? No, the auto attack is just not going there. Shut down for Baruka. So Keisha is it. Can he get the kill on Clarky Josh? The shield will probably be too much, though, as he just has to forfeit that fight. But a good turnaround here from the Dragons. They're keeping themselves into the game.
I mean, I would have W ignited there for the Scion kill, but honestly, he's 0-3. I don't think he's worth as much gold as the Ignite's worth. But you know, if you want to take the pressure, I would have done it. But either way, you know, they are making plays. On the Broso, Dragons are coming back ever so slightly. They're edging it little by little. And I mean, the gold lead is still reasonably tight. So these plays that they're making are working out for the best.
And I think the most important part about these kills is the fact that most of them have gone on Jai, of course, on that Lysandra. And look at the item. Not going for the classic Everfrost, which is what you technically want to see, usually see on a Lysandra. No, actually going for more of a carry-oriented build. Has 4 stacks on that Dark Seal and has a Luden. So it's going to do a lot of burst as we see a bit of a fight between the junglers. Don't reckon this will actually end up into something big.
Top's moving.
Top is moving. So is mid, actually, because here is Jai as well. But in the bot lane, we see fights as well. Fights all around us now. Here is the stun on towards Jai. It's going to actually go for it. That's a beautiful, beautiful move. And the Cataclysm is down. Baruka, but he's taking so much damage. The cask will not be enough. And everyone walks away with low HP bars.
And I love that interaction. Gragas E being the fastest CC in the game means that it interrupts all other CCs. As we're seeing Samira taking a little bit of a trade, but now with that movement and that trade going the way it did, it means that Herald's able to be popped in this mid side, be able to make these plays happen in here, and they just get 4 plates. Basically uncontested, and if the Lissandra doesn't get the kill on the Herald, she also doesn't get that XP, which is so vital to stay in this lane.
I really think it is, yeah, and all those plays are going to basically put her in a better position here now against the very fed Jai, as now another item has been completed. The Gore Drink on Baruka, so also ahead of his jungle opponent a little bit, of course, as well. So there are options here for Dragons, and I think the only big problem that they have to deal with later is going to be, you know, mainly that Trundle. But the fact that Gummer Boy also has those 2 kills, and yes, they have a lot of ways to interrupt him and to stop him, but like, it is still a Samurai that, and if you cannot stop her, if you just miss out on that, she will be able to run through your team, especially when you have a Trundle to back it up.
I mean, it's a Samira who's gone bloodthirst. Sorry, I think they might be gone bloodthirst. I mean, they've got BF swords. Might as well go in all the way very early. As we're seeing Clarky just not having the best time.
Has the ultimate, but there's the auto attack. Love Eternity gets the 3rd solo kill. That's going to be his 4th kill of the game on Clarky Josh, and Clarky Josh just not having a good time.
I'm just waiting to see the Trundle pick up that Buck Shield, you know. Just go for it at this point. Maybe be able to see a play here, but they do have first movement onto this Drake.
No teleport from the top lane, so it's not like he can join in at any time. This could be a potential fight, though.
But Dragons are disjointed here. I don't know if they can make the engage head on, so they have to take their time to get back together, group, be able to play this team front to back, because at the moment, I feel like that's the only way they have a chance with this Jinx.
Yeah, and the only downside is the Jinx. It's not very fed yet. Does have the Kraken completed, though. Thank you for going Kraken. I appreciate you. That is the correct choice in this game. But look at that, Barrowmaster now level 11. There is also a Night Harvester completed here on the side of Ninja Yoshi. So if they want to fight for this dragon, they do have the item spikes, especially imagining when Gomer backs, he will be getting himself potentially, well, that Bloodthirster then. We'll see if that is going to be the item that he decides to go for, or if it's just going to be...
It might just be there just as an early power spike, you know. You can go for the BS sword early as you like, really. But what we are seeing is jungle pressure down to the spot side for the Dragons. So I'm wondering if they're going to try and make this play with the J4. If he can sneak into this bush here, make an impact, they can look for the Drake out there.
Oh, they don't know. The teleport is coming in as well. Rakon is going in. Keisha is trying to flash out. They might just get away. That is a teleport force for the goats. But that does mean that the Dragons will be able to get themselves the dragon. I mean, it is fitting for their team to be able to get that. So, teleport not completely wasted, but I'm sure they wanted a bit more out of that.
I'm sorry, they're Drakes, not Dragons. Completely different things. But either way, they are able to pick it up by the Jinx. Maybe Syndra might be caught out here.
Yeah, that's a flash from Jai. That is a lot of damage as well. Flag and drag, and you are dead. Now the mid lane could be in trouble as well, because there's Demolish on the side. It's 5-man.
Ooh, wave clear.
Cast trying to clear the wave, but it's not going to be enough, and the Dragon's just moving around the map like a unit, and they are getting money all across. But look at Love Eternity, Gizmo.
Yeah, I mean, he's just committed to that side lane pressure, and I mean, with good reason. Trundle does shred towers, especially with that Q being able to do so much damage to the towers. J4's turned up, but the tower's gone, buddy. So that was just solo gold for this Trundle. Yes, you got mid tower, but God, this Trundle, I don't know who you're going to be able to send to match him in these side lanes now.
Yeah, that is the biggest tough one, right? Because, like, Jinx is not going to match him. He can just die. Lissandra is probably going to be able to match him, as in, like, clear the waves, mainly because no one's going to be able to fight him. The Kingdom might be... Wow, that's a lot of damage, but that's a good ultimate to get them away. Once again, a teleport has been forced. Has the ultimate ready. Clarky just could be looking for it. Is going to go for it. Gummer Boy will not get hit and uses his E to get away there safely. Lots of knockups happening right now, but can... Clark just find anything? No, he cannot. So
she has ulti.
Just get away as Baruka now in trouble here. Love Eternity 1v2ing. Oh my lord! In the bottom lane we get a fight as well. Keisha now is returning, but look at Love Eternity, and there is the root.
Will
he be able to get a kill?
Keep on. You got the help up.
Going on. He's trying. He cannot find it, and Maruka will be able to walk away. Baramasa though will be able to get some with the power unleashed. But now Maruka will he be able to find the kill back? Baramasa, it is so incredibly close. He will be able to walk away, but at what cost? Where are you going to go? There is no place to go. The flag. Stab in the butt.
I mean, it's just like hitting the moon there, putting a flag on it to let them know that this is your territory. I mean, overall, it was a messy fight, but that could have gone either way there from the Syndra. Insanely close, and I'm surprised that it wasn't more kills on the bot side, but Rakan going in.
Oh, the kills are going to come in the bot side right now because Kingdom is being ignited. Is going to be in trouble now. Linji Yoshi, that's a good cast into the knock-up, into the damage. That is going to be a knock-up for Keisha. Will actually be the return kill for the Jinx, so I do not actually wonder if that's worth.
I think it is. Look at the wave they're able to crash there. It's a cannon wave stacked, so that's probably about 180 gold, maybe 200. And then you realize the fact that Jinx is missing out on XP as well, and Rakan's worth, realistically, he's done his job, and you know there's no objectives on the map that they currently want to contest for. So yeah, I think it's worth there, and the Samira's able to get back into it. They did have to blow Flash and Exhaust to get on it, but Jinx matched it, so I think that's completely fair when you're the champion with so much movement ability and so many dashes, dips, and dives. Like, you can just get away with it.
I think at that point, when we look at this right now, right, the Dragons, surely they're going to want to look for those team fights, right? Because we know what Love Eternity is going to be planning to do this game. He's just going to be pushing that side lane, making sure that someone has to come and stop him, and likely it's going to have to be 2 people or more, because, well, we saw how close it was with 2 people, and that was with the Janna involved as well. So, you know, we imagine that the Dragons are going to be looking maybe for a Hellrock play here currently, but, well, they're all around the bot side at the moment, and Love Eternity is once again pushing in towards that top side. Someone is going to have to go back for him, because he might just want to look for an inhibitor very soon into this game.
I mean, he can look for an inhibitor, or maybe even she's Baron, because fun thing about Trundle, he heals very fast, and he can just do Baron solo. I don't think he can do it quite yet, but with Silence showing Bolt a few too many times, if you see J4 down there as well, I can just imagine him and Gragas just starting up that Baron, just taking it for free. Like, I don't see any reason why we can't expect that sort of macro in this game, because they have been playing it on these side lanes very well. But we are seeing the Trundle come down to bot side and maybe wanting those free tower gold that is there.
Yeah, I think he might wants to push this, but in the meanwhile, they might even look for a potential fight. Of course, we have the Dragon coming up. Still a minute away though, but oh, look at that. There's the Shirelias, and that is a called out Jinx. Now Jenna might be in trouble as well. Kingdom will be able to get away though, but with the Jinx dead, that is a 20 seconds death timer. Unfortunately, they are not close to the Baron, so they cannot really get that, but it should get them a lot of priority on this potential Dragon fight.
Yeah, it allows them to claim all of this vision, which means that it'll be insanely hard for Dragons to walk in here and contest vision. And vision equals objectives, as we know, so hopefully they can keep this vision line up, but looks like they're retreating ever so slightly, so they might let them walk back in here. But they are just contesting the wave, so look at Trundle, he's pushing out mid. Samira got bot side, and oh my god, is that Janna dead? No.
I don't think it was in range for the ultimate there. The Power Unleash is not going to be able to be used there. So now, that is the priority. Look at that. Ninja Yoshi just making sure that no one's going to be able to get close. Clarky Josh, though, might be looking for it, but he has no team behind him. So this will just be a free Dragon pickup for the Goats. And smartly enough, you can see that the Dragons say, all right, you know what? We can't beat it. So let's just send our laners to the side waves and at least catch some CS over there.
Yeah, and, you know, catching CS is just as important as fighting here, because if you don't catch the CS, you fall behind in XP and gold, and we now know that XP, each level is equivalent to about 400 gold at the moment, so being able to get those extra leads can be massive.
That can be massive indeed, as we see Zalba coming in towards this bot lane. That is just going to be to defend that bot lane, but what is important about that is that Love Eternity will have a teleport advantage in towards this these top laners side, so that could be very important. As we look at the gold difference at the moment, it is just slowly but surely going towards the side of the Goats, and it's not massive at the moment by any means. It's only 3,000 gold lead, and of course there is a Jinx on the side of the Dragons, so they do have, you know, that ace in the hole that can carry those later team fights once she gets items. But you know,
Love
I
Eternal.
think the Ghosts are playing the map very well. I don't think he has the damage at the moment for Clark and Josh. Clark just going to
Doesn't use ulti yet.
Yeah, that is true, but I think he just, you know, he knows
Softening him up
as well.
Just add a little bit of softness to him, you know.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
he's kind of looking for it now. He realizes, okay, you know, tower, I'm not necessarily tanky just yet. You know, the tower is going to do a lot of damage against me, so let's just chill for a little bit, heal up, because you got the Ravenous Hydra. You're going to be chilling, and Clark just keeps taking 1,000 auto attacks from Live Eternity here. But like, the Trundle might not seem too terrifying right now, but sure.
The Sandra TP coming in though. Are they looking to force something around this this mid side? Clarky's moving up as well. He's looking into ulti position. Samira might be caught.
Yeah, that could be a call. Actually, yeah, Gummo Boy is in trouble here, but does not die just yet. But here's the Cataclysm. Can he get out? Yes, he will be able to get out. But look at the backline. Jive just gets absolutely one-shot by Barrow Mustard, and that's a good start for the Goats in this fight. Now gets absolutely slapped about by Love Eternity. Knock up as well. Kingdom gets ignited. They are all in trouble right now. Clark and Josh will fall. That's 2 kills for the Goats. Here comes Kika with the engage, and the Bombard not going to follow up just yet. That's now Baruka gets himself 1 kill back for the team. Love Eternity is not done yet. He wants the Jinx. He has the pillar, but can Baruka defend him? Yes, he will be able to do just enough right now. But the Goats coming out on top on that team fight, and that could be a Baron.
Yeah, 100% at Baron. They have nothing left on the other side to be able to contest this. J4 even knows that he's going straight down to his Krugs, so this is just a free Baron pickup. And I've got to say, in that team fight, the way that Rakam is able to peel the Samira to be able to let them go back, get a plant, come back into the team fight, astonishing. And you don't normally see that from ADCs, being able to go, you know what, I'll heal back up and I'll come back into the fight. I won't just press B and reset. And that's what able them to do so much.
Brilliant stuff here by the bot lane from the Goats. Despite the scoreline's not really telling it, they definitely do very well and did very well in that last fight as well. And now we see that Gummo Boy does have a very significant CS lead over the Jinx. And we talked about in draft before, of course, with Trist as well, that it's going to be very difficult to play that Samira in those fights. And we saw what can happen potentially. However, the damage just was not there for the Dragons to actually finish her off. And if they had finished her off, perhaps that fight would have been a completely different ending. But right now, if the damage isn't there, that means Gummo Boy will be able to get back into that fight, and that only spells disaster for the Dragons.
Yeah, and that's the great combination of the Gragas Rakan, alright? You think that they don't match up, but they can play engage and peel very easily. And that was that team fight just showed it. You know, Lissandra stunned them directly and still couldn't make an impact to be able to kill them.
Yeah, so really good stuff.
Oh, Draggy.
Yoshi is so deep in here. Doesn't get knocked up though by Baruka, so not going to find too much there. But this is just the confidence the Ghosts are playing with. And speaking of we could be in trouble here.
meta.
Just what Trundle does. ADC, goodbye. Will he be able to get a kill back? No, he won't. As Clark just gets 1 shot as well. Doesn't have any magic resist to back himself up there against the power that is Barrow Mustard. And man, does that taste delicious.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you went LDR instead of PD, you might have a chance, or even IE, but either way, it's literally just ADC match at the moment. Top lane has been able to chase you down like that, and honestly, with Trundle's position, he's the most fed on the team. I think he's about 3k ahead of the next person, and I mean, he's been able to put his foot down and show it.
Yeah, he's definitely been able to do that as well. Yeah, I don't think we want to talk about we won't talk about the PD. Because I know we both want to do it, but I think we have to talk about how well the Goats are playing, because the early gold lead that they had was only 3,000 gold lead, but now it is all the way up to 8,000 gold, and now they've really cemented themselves in a position to win this game. They've used the Baron to get themselves basically all the tier 2 turrets. All that is left is the base to kill, and first, they're surely going to look for the Ocean Dragon, get themselves on that soul point, and it's only a matter of time before they can actually look for a game end.
Yeah, and I mean, it's come down to the one thing that we said that they had to execute well, which is team fights. We didn't expect the Samira to be able to pull off a team fight into that comp, but however, the way that her team have peeled her and been able to get these engages off has been perfect, basically, to be able to get Samira to do damage, to be able to pop off in these fights, and obviously having a Trundle that's, well, doing this in your games helps.
It definitely does, yeah. All the respect and towards Ninja Yoshi.
Look at Lissandra's positioning here. J4 coming in from the back.
You look for a flank, and does he have the damage to pull it off as well? Well, the Dragon is definitely going to be going. Here comes the Java, and will be able to actually get the objective bounty. That's a brilliant Dragon steal, but now, how is the fight going to pursue? Because now, Keisha and Gummo Boy, they all can't follow in. So it is actually just a free Dragon steal for the Dragons to walk away with.
Yeah, and it's a shame they didn't push or punish the J4 there, because he didn't have EQ at the back of the pit for about 3 seconds. You could have been able to blow him up, but it's just a shame that he wasn't being able to be marked before getting in. But the other way, really well played from the team of the Dragons to be able to make that Drake steal. And, it does put them in good standing. They have some decent wave clear here to be able to keep up with these waves walking into their base. You never know, they could just sit back, farm, and get that XP back into the game. I've seen worse games to get a comeback in.
Yeah, there's definitely the possibility here. And don't forget, you still have that Jinx. It might not be very powerful at the moment. Definitely needs that Infinity Edge. So the moment she is able to get that is when things could become very difficult for the Goats to pull off. But we'll see if they even get the time for that. The Dragon definitely buys them a lot of time to work with at the moment. But, the Baron is going to be up eventually again. And surely the Goats are going to be wanting to fight for that as well. But look at that. The 8,000 gold lead is now reduced to 7. So there is a bit, of a jump here for the Dragons to get themselves back. But still, we still have Love Eternity, who is once again pushing towards this bot lane. They still have to somehow deal with him in those downtimes where there are no objectives.
Yeah, I mean, they're chiseling at a hill, right? And eventually that hill will be gone. But for the time being, they've still got a fair bit to go. I think they'll be able to get up there. But what I will say about the Goats is look at the vision control that they had for that Drake, right? Most of it's still there, right? However, all of that vision was for them to see a contestation coming through the river, not expecting that obviously J4 can come over the wall and the blast cones were there. They set up for a team fight over a steal attempt, and that's what and unfortunately let them down in that last trade. Can't ulti down.
Oh yeah, that is just an ultimate
Right.
burn right there. Could be an opportunity, but oh, look at the damage. That is just so much pain that Barrow Mustard brings to the side of the Dragons. It's just that, I mean, that is what you get when you are, 8,000 gold behind. Those are the things that are very scary for the Dragons to deal with at the moment, together with Love Eternity, who is just freely pushing in towards the spot lane. And believe it or not, we have a split push support even right now on the Goat side.
Someone's been watching Hylissang's Pike, that's all I'm saying. It is important to play off of these lanes. You do have this Trundle who's insanely strong in a 1v1, but at the moment he's getting teams being able to rotate onto him and stop him from making this impact. And Rakan made the right decision, push out that top wave, play on multiple lanes, because that will then allow you to get through to this point where you can, contest these towers, and as soon as one of these towers go down, it offers you so much more pressure.
It really does, and Love Eternity is looking for
He's
it
just going straight for the
now.
tower.
I mean, there's two people right here. They could actually look for this. Can they
He's got
find
art.
it though? Like, it doesn't have a lot of damage right now. It doesn't
they're
have
on Baron.
Infinity Drive. Look at it, he's not taking any damage at all. Look, he's just going to try and run away, but he's not going to be able to get away. And Love Eternity does not care. He is just running away with a free kill. He says, thank you, goodbye. My team gets the Baron. I'm going to get
Jano and
this
J4
turret.
here.
Can they get a shutdown though? Surely they will be able to get the shutdown at least. It will be smited down by Baruka, but at what cost?
Well, they lost the Baron, they opened up the base, which means that now you've let Samira just into your base. Low range ADC with an open base, this is going to give him so much more freedom to be able to target that inhib. And if they do get that inhib down, it's going to make such an important impact in getting the next objective.
So what do they do right now, Gizmo? Like, what is the plan here? Because, well, you have that open bot lane, and obviously they're going to be able to push into that freely whenever they want. The team fights are looking quite difficult, especially when Love Eternity is up. Do you have to look for like an early, like a catch, like somewhere, just water and jungle? Because it feels a little bit doomed at this point here for the side of the Dragons.
Yeah, I feel like they've been trying to play too much of this pick comp when they clearly just can't execute it insanely well against a comp which with so much mobility and disengage. I feel like it is just that Fnatic Death Push style that we're going to have to see happen. If they can pick up a shutdown, or even just, shut down one of the side laners. Like, when this Trundle was down, yes, they were able to push out a couple of waves, but they weren't able to push them out enough to be able to contest and get their jungle back. So now we're seeing them all walk in here, but look at what's happened to the bot side. Their jungle's being collapsed. Their waves getting pushed in, which then means that they're going to lose this jungle and then get engaged upon.
We see, Baruka tried to look for a catcher on the support, but Keisha is just too quick, too nimble to let himself get caught there. Here's the Dragon. Will the Baruka do it again? Will he get himself another steal? Well, I think this one doesn't matter too much. I think the most important part is that look at Love Eternity's pushing right now. That is a big scatter the weak right there. Dragon is slowly being focused down. There is no vision here for the side of the Dragons to work with, and Love Eternity is just going to push.
Yeah, and they have no reason to rush, right? Because look at what Love Eternity's doing in the side lane. Like, if he's able to shred through Clarky with his ulti on the next wave, it opens up so much freedom, but
Oh, there goes the jungler, and there might go the top laner as well, and that could just be the game, because it looks like they don't even want to go for the dragon, they want to go for the game. That is another easy kill pickup, and the top laner doesn't die, but the inhibitor certainly does. Now the Ghost are looking to one-shot the Jinx, and Bomba! There he goes. Clarky Josh now getting dove as well, and the base is getting absolutely destroyed. The Goats are going to cement themselves in the second place race, and the Dragons have to look at it from afar because the Goats are the stronger animal tonight.
They did a good job of holding out. You know, they didn't force early. You know, the one thing the Goats did is that they took their time. They knew that their team fight, they knew that they could execute the team fight safer. They knew that they trusted in themselves to be able to pull off those team fights. And I'll be honest, I doubted. You know, I wasn't completely sold on the Samira there, but they were able to hold out, get to a point where the Samira was just unleashing these team fights by the Rakan. And I've got to say, obviously Love Eternity on the side, really insane. But the Rakan was what saved those team fights, stopped such a squishy ADC from being completely one shot.
And I think, well, we talked about the biggest part here for the Dragons. Their win con was to get that Jinx ahead, but Jinx ended the game 1-7. Exactly the opposite of what the Dragons would have wanted. And they didn't, they tried, you know, we saw that Baruka went down for some ganks towards it, but had to just stay in the bush and couldn't really find opportunity and just didn't find anything. And, you know, it just felt like, you know, if you can't get that Jinx online, the damage just isn't there for the Dragons. And even though it's difficult to play Samira into that comp, it doesn't matter for the Ghosts. They're just too far ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a hyper carry, and unfortunately, there just wasn't enough early pressure put towards that lane to make that Jinx snowball out of control, right? I feel like if that Jinx had got a couple of early kills into the Samira, then all of a sudden Samira's like laning phase pretty much would stop her from being able to get into that later stage team fight on equal ground. When the Samira comes into the team fight equal ground, picks up a couple of these kills, you know, she's just the one who last hit the last few, right? With the dashing and whatever you want to call her balanced champion. She's able to pick up just a few of those kills, and that just snowballs her gold lead, right? Like, she was able to pick up the BF sword early. She then went straight into a mythic, and, you know, at that point, Jinx just had Kraken, and Samira's damage with so many knockups, so many stuns, just snowballs out of control with a passive.
Too much. Just well played here by the entire team of the Ghosts. They cement themselves into the top of the league, but will they be able to stay there, or will they falter? That is all going to be seen in the next week, which is the last week of the Welsh Esports League. So definitely stay tuned for that. We're going to be seeing you guys next week, but for now, we are going to leave it. I hope you guys have a great night. I hope you guys enjoyed the games. Thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you guys next week.
Learn new skills or learn employable skills. Do both and achieve more. Become an apprentice. Eisiau dysgu sgiliau newydd? Neu ddysgu sgiliau cyflogadwy? Gwna'r ddau a chyflawni mwy. Bydd yn brentis. Dewis doeth.